Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. So what we have here on the counter is a safe lock. This is a Ross 700 safe lock, and as you can see it's got the standard footprint. I'll just show you another one if I have one. So this is a combination 3-lever S&G, and it's got the exact same footprint. So you could bolt that in or you could bolt that in. Let's look at a digital one now. As you can see, the same screw hole pattern. Push them down. Perfect. Alright. So with this safe lock, a lot of the time you see 5-lever, 6-lever. This Ross 600 was one of the locks that was very popular in Australia, made by Ross, and that's actually his name, so he called the lock Ross, and that's why we have Ross. So this is a Ross 700 or 7000. Can't remember, 700 or 7000. But as you can see, the key, look at the bitting on it, double-sided. Now when you put the key in and you turn it, it's key retained, bolt is back, and you can put the key in either direction. So the same combination on both sides of the key, operating the lock, key retained. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a key for this. The way it comes is pretty much like that. You get 2 keys, you get the lock, and there's a little code tag here as well, which I've covered up. You put the key in, you turn it, you unlock your lock, and away you go. So if you're building a safe and you want a U-boot lock, I would go for Ross 700. This is a key blank. We're going to actually be cutting a key for this, and as you can see the length on the key blade, just basically from the tip to, here we're looking 160 as the standard one. You're looking to the shoulder right there, you're looking probably about 95. So if you've got a large door, which a lot of big safes have, you're going to need a larger key, and compare it to a normal key, you can see that's a hell of a key. But you need it when you're working on a vault or a very thick door. So we're going to transfer all the information, all the cuts, onto this one, and we're going to be using the House of Wu key machine for this. Alright, so here we put our blank. Going to have to rotate the jaws. Other side. Okay. And I've got to make sure I've got the same jaws on this side too, which I do. Our blank has to go in. I'm using the jaws to align. Okay. So I'm basically putting it in this way, and then I'm going to flip it around this way to do my cuts. So I'm putting it in one way so that I get the key guided properly or shouldered up, and then just rotating it around and then just nipping it up. Okay, so I've had to remove the handle to cut this key, so I'm going to just use a bolt, put that in place of the handle. Reason being is, oh no, I don't need to actually. I thought the original was longer and it would hit the handle. These ones. Okay, let's have a look how we did. So there's our key blank, and there's our key. You can see it. So as you can see, we took a lot of meat off the top, but we didn't get right in there to those cuts. So obviously the key blank is too far back and won't allow the machine to go right into those cuts, so we will have to readjust. For now, we're just going to flip it around, use the shoulder to guide up on, nip it up, bring it around again, and take off the rest of the meat. Okay, so as you can see, the cutter itself is just a slot cutter. See how thin that is? So that means every time we go into the key, we can only push forwards in this direction. We cannot move it left and, sorry, we cannot push forward and then move left and right. We have to plunge into the cut like this. When you want to move, you move it down the bottom. This, cut, 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 cut. Because the disc has no grooves on the side, it only cuts on one side of the blade, and that's on the outer. So this is the House of Wu 707W new model. I've had it for a while. It takes a long time for the blade to stop spinning. Swarf goes down the back and all over the machine. There is a guide here, so when we push in, that's probably stopping us from getting right down to those cuts. But if it wasn't there, we'd be cutting into our vise. So although it didn't cut all the meat, it still gave us a good start. As you can see, it still gave us a good start. So the rest we can either do by hand, or I'll have to find another way to adjust the machine to get deeper into those grooves. Most likely it will be a matter of just simply holding the key blade further out. Okay, so to get to the really deep grooves, I had to hold it on this back part here and line it up by eye, flat edge here to the vise, and it looks symmetrical. So I'm just going to detail it up and we're going to see if it works. Okay, and then we have one key duplicated. It's now the moment of test. Key goes in, key retracts. Try it on the other side, key retracts. So that's a duplicate of that key. As you saw, I needed to put a little bit of time into the preparation to round all the edges, because on this particular type of key, it's not like a normal key where you just cut it and you buff it. You actually need to dress the edges. Not removing anything from the heights, just dress the edges, so that if you could imagine when, if that was your cut of your key, it's not going to be, when it's moving, it's not going to be gouging into the levers that are inside. So old school, old fashioned lock techniques, but they take a lot of time, and it's what we call a hand cut key or a mortise key or a safe key. So that's why they cost so much, because there's a lot more work involved in actually cutting them than there is compared with another key. There is expensive machines that can do these keys to code, and it also will put the nice perfect radius on it, but unless you got the 30 to 50 grand to buy one of those machines, like most people, you'd be doing it by hand. They're more common in the UK. A lot of people still use this type mortise key in the UK. In Australia, we only use them for some mortise locks and we use them for some safes, so they're not as popular, meaning that we can't support having a very expensive code machine to cut them, so mostly it's done by hand. A lot of shops won't even do them now, they take too long. We don't have a retail shop, so we don't do them, but we do them for our orders, should you buy a lock from us. If you're interested in buying this lock, you can go down to our lock shop. The link is in the description, and leave your comments. Thanks for watching.